follows Jesus together, that serves together, that grows together, that eats together, meets together, and prays together. And if we're like, well, let's do everything except for serve together, that'd be really weird. So if you want to serve your community and this community, then awesome. That's part of what following Jesus is all about.
But I would add that part of leadership and serving is we value at Imprint is relationship, that we're not just trying to plug people in like to a cog of a machine and be like, do your ministry job, but have relationships. So we envision there being conversations, so they have new ministry leaders who are coming in who are leading, let's say, kids ministry, and they don't know all the Kenmore community folks. So go grab coffee, get to know them, what's their passion, how have they been serving, what are they really good at, and if it's a great fit, great, keep going. Or maybe if there's opportunities for them to serve in a slightly different way in the ministry, and you learn that through conversation, great, plug them in that way.
Yeah, I think we should be upfront. So we have a child protection policy that keeps our kids' ministry safe. And part of that policy is that, this is only true in kids' ministry, is that we do background checks with everybody, and we require them to be at the church for 6 months in a relationship with other people before serving in kids ministry. So that would be the one exception. If you're currently serving in kids ministry, we would hold to our child protection policy. So, Les, I saw your hand.
I was wondering what's your approach to the non-church community? How do you reach out to them?
Yeah, so that would be a complex answer depending on who. If we're talking about our coworkers, that's going to be different than the person who's currently living outside and working through a mental health or chemical addiction issue. And it would be different depending on if we're talking about the guys that work at the bowling alley or the ladies that work at Jay's. So how we engage with our neighbors requires wisdom and contextuality. And it also requires a whole community, because I'm probably going to spend more time at Jay's in the bowling alley than at the Hobby Lobby, right? And so I'll have more interaction, but as a community, we want to not just encourage, but also equip and empower one another to share the gospel in ways that our neighbors can actually understand, hear, and respond to. So some of it might be that organized equipping, some of it might be organized, hey, we run a change your oil thing on Saturdays in the parking lot, or we've got like a outreach thing that's a little bit more formal. Oh yeah, and we do have ministry partners. So we have a bread booth that is kind of like a community. It's really a party. It's a party on Monday nights up in Mill Creek. People that are about in a 5-mile radius come through and get the result of a whole crew's gleaning from places like Panera Bread and QFC and Starbucks and all that kind of stuff. And some people are facing food insecurity for sure. There's people that are working class poor or that are living outside. Some of them are just people that are lonely and looking for a connection. So that's Bread Booth. We work with Olive Crest, addressing kids and families that are in crisis to create stability and safety. Sometimes that means working in the foster and adoption care worlds. We work with World Relief, addressing folks that are coming here on refugee status or who are in relationship with them. We work with organic ministry out of our community, actually out of a previous church that kind of all started coming to Imprint, called God Loves Kingsgate. It's a guy that read the Bible and it said, love your neighbors, and so he took that seriously and started a ministry that's about loving his neighbors. A lot of them are kids, and so he does basketball nights and dinners and cares for the people that are working on nights, weekends, and holidays, and does prayer walks and all sorts of cool stuff. And then finally, Woodinville Storehouse, probably our longest formal relationship, and they work with folks who are facing food insecurity within a certain radius of kind of the Woodinville area.
Just a fun fact, outreach potentials. Jay's property has been sold.
Oh, it has. No way. I didn't know that.
Jay's is going to be torn down.
No!
gonna be a 6-story, low-income senior housing development right there.
That'll work.
I'll never have to fear putting my fingers under Jay's tables anymore. I was always afraid I was gonna get something when I was sitting there. Like, yeah, I bet you're gonna want.
That isn't gonna happen overnight.
No, it's probably a couple years out, but
Their sign just went up.
we got the, there's a, you'll notice there's one of the city signs up there saying what's coming.
And just so you dear people know, over the years, I have had people from North Shore, and some of them obviously are at the Imprint church now, help out here at the church. I've had Cheryl Linders, who's played the piano. I've had, I'm trying to think, his name is Don, I think, who came and led guitar. Doug. And I have a few close friends that go to the Imprint church, so. And our dear darling daughter-in-law, Tim's wife, Brianna, sang in the worship team at North Shore for years, before they moved. So we kind of, I mean, this is from me. I have never met any of these gentlemen, but to listen to every one of you talk absolutely touched my heart to realize we have close ties with every one of you, because we are born Portland, Oregonians. And I know all about Portland and grew up singing at the Portland Rescue Mission for years with my mom. No ties there. We met in Lake Oswego, in a church in Lake Oswego. We know Multnomah School of Bible. We know all the places you're talking about. So it's just,
Oh, it's meant to be.
I just think you're wonderful. It's just nice to hear you all tell your stories, and we have 3 sons. So anyway, I'm very, very touched, and I'm very moved by all of you, and I just want you to know that from me.
Thanks,
The pastor has one if you want to share it with you, you don't have to worry about parking in the hall.
I hear about that.
You hear about the-
That's great.
parking there. Oh, okay, I was afraid you'd think, boy, this is kind of.
No, it's cool. We heard that before, which is great. It's a good open parking lot there.
And then they're gonna put a 6-story structure on the parking lot.
Yeah.
Are they?
Build it up, parking.
They're gonna make it a garage?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was part of the process of them getting your corner there, right, or something like that?
No, not
Oh, was
that,
it?
but no,
Gotcha.
that's, King County is just wanting to make more space. The rapid bus line is coming.
I see. Dusty.
I've been postponing this so I could get everybody else a question, but this is a question for Tom. This is really, really important, and I was gonna have a meeting with you with Pastor Mark to discuss this. So no pressure, but I really have a very important question about something we discussed. I didn't know you were a Greek and Hebrew buff, so you're gonna like this. But,
This question.
you know what it is now.
Yeah.
So one of the key verses that talks about the core of the salvation message is Hebrews 2:8-9. You know, Ephesians. I said Hebrews, didn't I?
Yeah.
Ephesians 2:8-9, which says, "For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves is a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." And so we talked about that word faith, and I didn't know the Greek word for it, but I guess it's pistis. I spelled it wrong when I was emailing. But pistis can mean faith or faithfulness or both. And when I've discussed with you, it seemed like you kind of held more to the faithfulness end. But not so much that, as I know the wording you used was, you like, instead of faith, you like faith and loyalty.
I like believing allegiance or loyal trust. I like to avoid some common churchy words sometimes, because I've found that, much like algebra, you all know that a² + b² = c². And actually, you probably know that that's how to find out a particular part of a triangle.
Actually, geometry, not algebra.
Yeah, and then you can tell what I'm good at, right?
Sorry, I had to say that.
But I think in the church we can often memorize formulas so that when somebody says, well, how do you get saved? You say, well, by faith, by grace, through faith. But we don't stop to think about what grace means or what faith means. Or what's the chief end of man? Well, it's to glorify God. Well, what's glorify mean? What's glory mean? And so not always. I think the Bible's pretty awesome and the vocabulary in there is fantastic. And